Welcome back to the channel, guys, and I hope you all are doing amazingly fine. It's been so long. I know I'm as surprised as you are to see myself in this frame, but here we are again after a very long time. I know again, change of background because I had to move to Hyderabad because this was allotted as my flying base for the 6 months approximately, more than halfway through the tenure, and finally I'm here. But nevertheless, again here to serve the exact same purpose as always. To help and guide you guys to make the right and take the right decisions towards your career path as a commercial pilot. So without further ado, let's get started. So I genuinely don't want to talk about where I was, what I was doing, why there were no videos on the channel. It's literally just been a busy life. That's all. Adulting, right? All of us know about that. So we'll get into the topic, and the topic is something that a few of you had commented on the previous video, and also I get a lot of DMs about it. So in my previous videos, I've spoken about a lot of things related to CPL and how to get your CPL, flying schools, private pilot license, and so on. Also, I have touched maybe on a few videos where I talk about airlines and airline inductions. But in today's video, I'm going to talk about something that a lot of you have been asking for a while. That is, how is airline training conducted? Mainly, how do airlines actually train their pilots post-induction? Now, the whole airline induction process and the training is pretty extensive and rigorous, and it can go in the upwards of around 4 to 5 months as well. Now, also there might be certain terms that you guys might not be familiar with, and in order to make that easier on you, I'm going to make this video in two parts. The first part, I'll be talking about the whole induction day, contract signing, and how we meet the different teams associated with the airlines, as well as the whole ground schooling part of it until the graduation day when you get your applets and wings. So in this part of the video, guys, I'm going to talk about my induction day, airline ground training, as well as the graduation ceremony as a junior first officer. The initial title that you get when you join IndiGo as an airline is a junior first officer, and most of the training during that tenure is carried out in the iFly Training Academy in Gurgaon. The whole training takes about 4 months, and during this whole tenure, you're also allotted a guest house and a full accommodation where you also get your meals and laundry taken care of. So now let's get started. The whole timeline started on 21st of Jan 2023 when I arrived into Delhi. Yeah, obviously the company also provides you with the flight tickets and some extra baggage allowance because obviously you're going to stay for approximately 4 months, so there's a lot you need to carry. Now when we arrived into Delhi, we had a cab waiting which took us to our accommodation and helped us to get settled in. Next day was the big day. The cabs arrived to take all 75 of us to the hotel where the induction ceremony was supposed to be conducted. Now the plan for the first day was a casual meet and greet with different departments like IT, logistics and HR. This helps us understand how these departments play a vital role and how these people actually help us in our day-to-day operation as a pilot and make our life easier. I mean, it was a great interactive session and we had a lot of fun interacting with all of these people, but I'm sure most of us were very eager to get our hands on our joining kit. I mean, all of us have been waiting for that moment when we sit there, see that kit with our wings as well as our lanyard, and that was probably an experience which most of us will have only once in our lives. Now, after all this emotional thing of seeing your kit and everything that it had, we were ready for the contract signing. The HR was present, obviously. Now, the contract signing, the contract was a pretty elaborative one, which spoke everything about your tenure in the company, how long it is, and about what different bases you can be allotted. And it was a pretty extensive one. And to top it off, guys, trust me, that feeling of signing it, my hands were literally shivering. I was so nervous. I wasn't so nervous even during the interview, probably, but looking at that paper and with your name and everything and just signing it, it just felt like an accomplishment. I've been working so hard, and most of us have been working so hard for so long to reach that exact very moment in our lives as a pilot. So coming to day 2, we met a few more top management associates in the company, and then started the most fun part of the day was giving our measurements towards our uniforms. Now all of us wanted to be very professional, form a nice queue, go into the room, give our measurements, but at the back of our mind, each of us wanted to be there first because why not? I mean, it was our uniform after all. So there ends the induction process and we move on to ground schooling. So as I mentioned earlier guys, as a junior first officer, all of your airline ground training at Indigo happens at the iFly Training Academy in Gurgaon. Not only for pilots, but also cabin crew come here for their training from different bases across the Indigo family. During this tenure of 3 months, we were taught different subjects such as AFSEC, Company Ops and Procedures, Technical, our EFB training, then we did Special Operations, we went through our POISE training and so on. So on day 1 of our airline ground training, we were greeted by the Chief of Training along with our Chief Ground Instructor who spoke about the core values of Indigo. Along with that, they also mentioned how the company not only sees us as first officers but future captains in the making. Now, unlike your CPL ground training, the subjects towards your airline ground training are a little different. We start with AVSEC, which stands for Aviation Security. This is a course which lasts for around 5 days, where we speak about different aspects of security, which helps us acquire our AEP, that is your Airport Entry Permit. Once we finish the 5-day AVSEC course, we also have a test that is conducted. It's a 100 marks test, and we need to secure at least 80 marks in order to pass it. After AFSEC, we started with Company Ops and Procedures. Now, during our type rating, we were taught how to basically fly and operate the aircraft as per Airbus standards. However, every company might have certain deviations from that, which are authorized by the manufacturer. Now, during our company procedures, we are taught all of these, as well as what are different training modules and everything related to how the company operations are taken care of at Indigo. Just like AFSEC, we have a test at the end of this module and followed by our next subject, that is technical. Now, most of you must be knowing that when we do our CPL training, we study technical general. But it's called technical general for a reason that it covers everything in a broader perspective. We study about jet engines, we study about piston engines, how aircrafts fly, systems of aircrafts and so on. But when we talk about airline ground training, technical is specific to the aircraft that you're being trained on or you technically are rated for. In our case, it was A320 and A321s. Again, after technical, we had a test again of 100 marks and we had to get minimum 70% in order to pass that. Once we finished technical, we came into our next set of training, that is understanding how to use our EFB. And what is EFB? EFB stands for Electronic Flight Pack. Now, at the start of our training, all of us were given company iPads, which had all the softwares which we would require in our day-to-day life as a pilot and for our flight operations. Mainly, the iPad covers all different modules from takeoff, cruise, landing and helps us to do multiple performance calculations on the go. Now, as the EFB training covered a lot of aspects of performance, the next subject that we were trained on was performance. Again, performance is a vast thing, it covers a lot of things and it took approximately 20 to 25 days for this whole module to be covered, followed with an exam again. Now, all of us were really waiting for the next module that came up after performance, which was our fire and smoke drills along with our slide drills. Now, as a pilot, this is a one-off experience because you go with your batchmates, you do all these drills. They are all practical drills. You go to a separate facility, you see how the door opening and emergency opening operations are done. These are a few videos, we enjoyed it, we took a lot of pictures as well as during the training. We were instructed in a really nice way because now a lot of these things might not be our day-to-day things. However, whenever as a pilot, God forbid if you're ever required to come into an abnormal situation, this is what will technically help you. Once we finished the fire and smoke drills, after that we had a class on aviation medicine. We had a company doctor who came us and spoke about the different aspects of aviation medicine, how it is important to have a good lifestyle with the type of flying that we do nowadays, and also about how certain medication can affect your flying and what all are the precautions that we need to take, and also speak about the BA test that is conducted before every single flight. After the aviation medicine session, the next day we had a session with one of the line training captains where we spoke about SOPs and flows. Now, what are SOPs and flows? Now, during your type rating, if a lot of you are type rated, you would know what I'm speaking about. For anyone who's new out here and who does not understand that too, we have a certain set of standard operating procedures which we need to know by memory, as well as how to set up an aircraft prior to takeoff and prior to landing. So again, Airbus has a certain way, Airbus has a certain set of task sharing that they follow, whereas airlines might have a certain deviation from that. Now, Indigo has a certain deviations as well, and during this particular session, we were thought of that. Also, we did a lot of chair flying with the captain, which helped us, or also gave us confidence prior to starting line training. Post this, we had the last module that we have to study, which is special operations. Now, under special operations, there are a lot of topics that are covered, such as RMP, EBN, LVO, ETOPS, EDTO, and so on. Now, I'm sure most of you might not understand these topics, and I do not expect you to, because during our seatbelt training, we do not cover most of these. All of these topics might be preparation topics towards your interviews during your induction process. Finally, coming towards the end of the training and very close to our graduation ceremony, we underwent our voice training. Now, Indigo has very high standards in terms of how pilots maintain themselves, because at the end of the day, we are the face of the airlines out there. Now, this was a very chilled out session where we learned basic etiquettes and day-to-day grooming. Coming to the big day, that is our graduation ceremony. But just a day before that, we also have our graduation rehearsal. Now, during the rehearsal, we practice everything from our entry, coming to the podium, collecting our certificates, and mainly collecting our wings and applets. Now, coming to a very special day in every single JFO's life at Indigo is our graduation day. Now, on our graduation day, our parents are invited, and it is one of the best days, one of the best life experiences you could have as a JFO or as a pilot. We have our auditorium at IFLA itself, where we have the whole ceremony. We have our chief pilot coming in. We have our SVP, Captain Ashwin Mitra as well, who's there, and all of the top management associates are there as well. Each of us come here. We also have one speaker from every single batch who comes, gives out a speech on behalf of the whole batch itself. We also have certain performances. It's a great experience. And here are some snippets of our auditorium back at IFLY. And I'm sure all of you looking at this at some point during this video, or at some point during your aviation career, you get a chance to witness this, maybe with Indigo or with any airline of your choice or of your dream. Also, after the ceremony, it's like a great day, you know. You have all of our parents are there, we're taking pictures outside, inside, with all of the leadership team as well. And it's just something I can't explain out there. That whole feeling of achievement and getting your wings, your applets, it's just amazing. I'm sure if you guys follow me on Instagram, you must have seen this particular day. I posted a few pictures with my fiance back then, my wife now, as well as with my parents, and we had a blast. It was a celebration. Trust me, it was a celebration. So guys, that's the end to the video. I hope this video helped you. If there are certain things that you still want to know, please do leave it in the comments, and I'll be more than happy to help. I hope you support me in the same way that you have been doing all this while, and thank you so much for being around here. If you still don't follow me, here is my Instagram handle, and I'm sure I'll see you there as well. Till then, take care, stay safe, and as always, stay golden. Bye-bye.